You've been up all night. Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1230, January 23, 2024. 53 degrees was the record high on this day in 1942. That's the second day in a row for the record high being in 1942. And it was 34 below in 1886, Woo! And that's the second day in a row. The record low was in 1886. How do you like them apples?
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Where is East Union, Minnesota?
I know. Pick me.
All right,
It is just south and west of the booming metropolis known as Carver, Minnesota.
Who is the town ball team?
They don't have one, but there is talk of a ballpark being built.
What is it? A township?
Basically, they got a church, a cemetery, and there is a business. I don't know if it's a granary or whatever.
Okay, I don't know how to handle this, but I intend to make an attempt to handle it on behalf of GLers.
When I go to the Henderson Car Show, I drive through East Union when I used to live in Carver.
There's a West Union, too, up by me.
Okay.
Is there a South Union?
With a bar that may or may not have stayed open during COVID. I just don't know.
Yesterday, we got a note from Katie from East Union.
Yes.
Saying that she had possibly created the male fun limitation factor.
That's right.
By interrupting her husband's chores, which he enjoys, snow blowing and
things of that sort.
Cutting the grass and things of that nature. Well, I got a note today from Katie's husband, Tom.
Oh, boy.
Tom Tierney, who writes, "My rebuttal. I feel the need to submit a rebuttal to yesterday's email from my beautiful bride. Boy, she calls him the handsome husband. He calls her the beautiful bride."
Who is zooming who?
What's wrong with these people? They like each other?
Apparently.
I feel the need to submit a rebuttal to yesterday's email from my beautiful bride regarding the MFLF, the male fun limitation factor. Her references to taking the tractor for a spin or practicing space management might have been a bit exaggerated. While I acknowledge she's mowed the lawn on occasion, I cannot recall a single time she has braved the wind and cold to clear our driveway of snow. In fact, invoking the notion of space management is bordering on sacrilege, given that we have plenty of lawn and a tractor that can throw snow a good distance, requiring little to no space management. The many hours I've spent spreading sand and ice melt on the driveway after uncleared snow has been driven over multiple times is testament to the fact that she's fibbing a bit. As for helping with folding laundry, yes, it is partially motivated by a desire to help her out and spend time together, but it's also about making sure she doesn't fold my clothes incorrectly. I think this guy's really getting in trouble here. About folding my clothes incorrectly or putting them in the wrong drawer.
What started out so innocent.
Even I put my own clothes away.
Yeah.
Even me.
Yeah.
And this guy's worried about the wife might put him in the wrong drawer.
But like the dishes, do you leave your clothes in a certain area?
I know where they go.
Got it.
All right. Where was I? Kenny is not wrong for keeping the roommate away from his laundry. I'll at least give her credit for her comment about the smoker being hers. It was a Mother's Day gift a few years ago. In fact, her Mother's Day gift this year is likely to be a bigger smoker. Her brisket and ribs are second to none. She should have no fear that I'll develop an interest in cooking and steal that joy from her. Thanks for the opportunity to set the record straight. Tom, the handsome husband in East Union. Now, here's my dilemma. I have a note from Linda Johnson, who writes, Joe, would it be possible to give Katie of East Union my email address?
Okay.
We just moved to East Union. And I am a devoted listener to GL, and I think Katie and I might have a lot in common. If you provide her with my email, perhaps she'll contact me and we fellow GLers can get together.
What are we Tinder?
No,
Like,
that's a bad idea. The husbands don't need that to happen.
Well,
I kind of agree with Kenny.
I can't. I just note here 2 women who might enjoy getting to know each other.
Yeah, what they're going to do is gang up on their husbands.
100%.
Let me leave it down. I'm going to leave it like this.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it like this.
Leave it.
No, I'm not done. I'm going to leave it like this. Linda and Katie, you're both in East Union. Based on what I can have in my cartoon bubble about East Union,
Meet at the
how
parking lot.
difficult would it be to meet each other?
You already know each
Probably
other.
already know each other.
Yeah.
Or give each email address over the air and they can figure it out.
No, I don't think we'll do that. But that's how I'm leaving it. Katie Tierney and Linda Johnson, I'm sure you can find each other. You're both in East Union, Minnesota.
There's also this thing called Facebook. They could try to connect that way.
Can I give the gentleman maybe females too, for all I know, a life-changing tip regarding clothes and laundry?
I think that would be welcome.
I learned this when I lived in Minneapolis and I did my own laundry there. I moved all of my clothes, everything, out of the closet, out of the bureau in the bedroom, and into the laundry room. I do all of my changing, everything right in the laundry room. It is a time saver. It's saved my life, my marriage, and everything. It's wonderful. It's all right there. There you go.
Just leave it at that.
Yep.
Timbuktu writes, yesterday you mentioned Dean Phillips' family is in the liquor industry. Do you guys know what other industry his family has had connections to?
Screwdrivers.
No. I think I was aware of this, but only vaguely. This is interesting. He has family connections to the newspaper business.
Oh.
His grandma was Pauline Phillips, who wrote the Dear Abby advice column under the pen name Abigail Van Buren. She came up with the name by combining the Old Testament prophetess Abigail with the surname of President Martin Van Buren. Pauline's twin sister was also a well-known advice columnist who wrote under the pen name Ann Landers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
I did not know that. So Dean's grandma was Dear Abby, and his great aunt was Ann Landers. I have to believe that a young Dean got a lot of unsolicited advice when he was growing up. The twin sisters took sibling rivalry to a whole new level. The first sister to start an advice column was Ann Landers in 1955. The very next year, Pauline Phillips offered her Dear Abby column to the Sioux City Journal at a reduced price, provided that the paper refused to print her sister's column. In 1958, Life magazine said the sisters had become the most widely read and most quoted women in the world. The sisters ostensibly reconciled in 1964, but remained competitors. I find that fascinating.
That's fun.
I'm going to go with Matthew's answer. I think it would be more fascinating if it was Matthew.
If it was
Screwdrivers.
yes,
Oh, I think this is.
I don't think
Which
Joe
is a
got
double
it.
play.
I don't think Joe got the
because
joke.
the liquor business, screwdrivers is a drink and screwdrivers is a tool.
I don't know why you have to take something so charming like this. And,
Joe, Phillips screwdrivers. Phillips screwdrivers.
Okay.
I think he invented them.
Jesus.
Didn't Phillips screwheads come into play in another plane?
No, don't go down the rabbit hole.
And-
Don't go down
You're
the
so-
rabbit hole.
Didn't we have to ground another plane because before it took off, the passengers noted something, the wing was loose or something?
Something about that boy ain't right.
Let's just leave it at that.
All right. Well, you're being sensitive now to the airline industry?
Yes. Well, brief me. Let's go.
Congratulations, Dean's grandma and his aunt. Boy, they were pioneers in the newspaper business.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Tribune, if not St. Paul, I think both papers at one time or another printed Dear Abby and Ann Landers. In
I'm
fact,
sure.
aren't they still going with other people
Yeah.
picking
so.
up the mantle?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the column is still alive.
Yeah.
Also a great
Dean's
song
worth
from John.
77 million.
Great song from John Prine, Dear Abby.
Oh, God.
Dear John.
Well, pencil down. We got a dilemma from, I just am so comfortable today just talking to GLers and accommodating their needs and their wants.
Yeah, no show prep, huh?
No, I got plenty to do here.
And those of you on the town council will get a glimpse as to why we're laughing.
Oh.
Now, Lisa the Looper, Youper, has a Good Morning Joe, all hail the Flashlight King.
Hail you.
Hail you.
Not a lot of enthusiasm there. I never thought I'd say this, but I need help with my sensibilities as they refer to winter. I live in the western UP. We average 200 inches of snow a year, much of it thanks to the Lake Superior Lake Effect snow machine. This year, we had absolutely no snow at Christmas.
Yeah.
My grass was green. It was very mild. We received our first measurable snow on November 26 and 27. They got 13 inches.
Okay.
We also received 6 inches on December 18, all of which melted before Christmas. So far in January, we've received 28 inches, but obviously they're well below what they're accustomed to.
Right.
My conundrum, dare I say I am enjoying this mild winter? There are 3 ski hills and numerous snowmobile trails within a few miles of me, and they are having a rather tough time. My new snowblower is just chillaxing in the garage. What about that? Last year, I measured nearly 300 inches of snow. Am I due for a mild winter, or do I pray for more of the white stuff? Where should my sensibilities lie? Thank you for your wisdom, Youper, Lisa.
Okay.
Well, this is always a tough one because as much as I enjoy a mild winter, I'm not unfazed by the effects this must have on the people who sell snowmobiles and ski lift tickets.
Okay.
Bars, rentals. Yeah,
Everything.
everybody. Yep,
Everything.
everybody.
Snowmobiles. So I have a sensibility problem too, Lisa, but I'm going to err on the side of, at the risk of offending my snowmobiling salespeople friends, I'm going to err on the side of just enjoying the hell out of this.
You know why I can't enjoy it, Joe?
Huh.
I'm really, really worried about March and April. I think we're just going to get double kicked to the crotch.
We're pushing it off.
I'm so worried, and it's keeping me from enjoying what's happening.
I had this discussion over the weekend with somebody, and I always say, well, if you sign up for that line of work, reliant upon the weather, don't you have to kind of the good and the bad? In other words, baseball or any sport that depends on the weather, that's what you signed up for. Sorry.
Chris, you can say that about our area in Minnesota, but you can it'd be fun to look up the records for the UP because she's right. They always get flogged with snow. Back
True.
when I was a serious trail rider, we'd be up at the UP every other weekend just because of the snow conditions.
Sure.
It's like going to the mountains. It's like going to West Yellowstone. It's comparable. There's so much snow up there.
I believe I can help you with your concern about March and April.
Please do.
Okay, those storms, to me, are rather festive for a couple of reasons. Well, one main reason. You know they're not going to last on the ground.
Right.
It's warm.
Short-lived.
Yep.
They're short-lived or short-lived. I've never known which one that is. But they come upon us, and you got a couple of things going in your favor. It's light out, well into evening. It generally, depending on the severity of the storm, you might not even have to practice space management.
In fact, I think that's the time of the year where you say, bleep it, I ain't shoveling.
Well, it gets to the, but you only can say bleep it after a year in which you've really been faithful to your space management.
True.
So now comes April and you get walloped like we have recently, past few Aprils. There you can say bleep it. You've put in your time. This year, just to fire up the snowblower, a guy might go out in April and give it a shot.
Right.
But it's going
to use
melt.
up the gas that's in there.
So I don't mind. I don't mind the March and April. If we get hit, we're going to get hit. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to get hit, but that wouldn't bother me because I know the end is near.
Yeah, you know the patterns.
I understand the weather patterns.
That's
Pick up the Calcutta Clipper, swings down, swings up, lakefront influence.
That's it.
Okay, Denny.
That's it, Denny. Denny's got
Calcutta Clipper.
I got that. Okay.
But so until February begins, we're basically going to be in the high 30s.
Well,
And then once February hits, you're turning the corner.
As far as I know, they might be riding in the UP. I don't think they're doing a lot of riding in northern Wisconsin. I don't even know that the trails are open between.
she said they got 28 inches of snow in the UP just this month. You can ride on 28 inches of snow.
Well, the problem with that lake effect stuff, it's like dust falling. It's really, really fluffy, and it's hard to pack down a base on the trails.
I got news for you. You could trailer that thing up and head it to Western New York right now. Would they get 66 inches of snow in the
they're
last 2
getting
weeks?
their lake effects.
Yeah.
And that's also lake effect.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a story that's been around. We just haven't discussed it, but it keeps popping up. And now it's popping up on national and international sites. And that's the story of one of the Cargill people, as in the Cargill family, the people who ship grain around the world, a billionaire Minneapolis family. And one of the Cargills married into the family is Kathy Cargill. And my hat's off to her right off the bat because she collects McLarens, which are an incredible automobile.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
I collect MGs. So we're on a little different, we're playing a different game.
I see.
We're playing a different game. But she's been pictured with this marvelous collection of McLarens with what looks to be really a neat garage setup. I don't know where, maybe in a different state. Maybe she's pictured in Minnesota. I don't know where. But she has been buying land in Duluth on the on Park Point, which is a spit of land out there that's a funky old neighborhood. And she's been buying up she's the wife of James Cargill II. He's one of the heirs
The
to
Deuce.
Cargill.
Yeah.
And it's the largest privately owned company in America. Now, I believe they created a company called North Shore LS LLC, and they're going to and they're buying these properties, paying more for them than they're worth to get them.
When you got
no
the money,
one knows why.
I'd like to know.
I would imagine.
You're not going to wipe them all out.
Oh, well, what I'm forecasting is they must have a resort or something in mind.
Why? Why
I don't
a resort?
know.
Do you think that she wants to make even more money? That her end goal is to make more money for herself or family or whatever?
She's a young woman. I don't know how old, maybe 40s or 50s. Maybe I hope I haven't offended her. Maybe she's in her 30s. I don't know. But maybe when you have that kind of money, it's your inclination to keep making money.
Why? Also, by the way, that I just discovered there are a few LLCs from across the country not affiliated with the Cargills that are also buying property on that strip of land. Matthew, why are you so concerned?
I love Duluth. I remember trips to Duluth.
But why?
Sheen.
Okay,
but
how
this
is
has nothing to do
her?
with that.
How is her buying this strip of land and these properties? How is that going to affect you in your life?
Well,
No,
it won't affect my life, but I think I appreciate the real estate that they have up there, and I would not like to see them torn down for a new resort. I can't tell her what to do with her money. That's just
So far, she's bought 10 homes And I think uncharitably, she called them pieces of crap.
See, now you're starting to
Hey,
make people not like you.
You guys want to introduce communism here? That's what a free market dictates. Sorry.
I'm not complaining. I'm curious.
Okay.
I don't know why they're doing this. It's not a wooded, or it's not full of bays and inlets. It's a strip of sand that extends out from Duluth.
Got it.
So what's the
maybe
point?
like collecting McLarens. She likes collecting crappy houses.
Maybe you can't relate to her. Maybe you can relate to me. What if I bought up 5, 6, 10 farms that were all adjoining in my area? What would that say?
I would say the end is near. Kenny,
what would
knows
my
something.
plan be? Why would I do that?
Well, knowing you, it would be so you could stand outside in your drawers and grill and nobody sees you.
And why can't we ascribe those same ideas to her? Why can't she just buy up this land to have this land, and the rest of you can go to hell? I've got my own little strip of heaven right here. Why can't we just accept that?
Well, let's introduce the McLarens. It's not as though that would be conducive to tearing around in a McLaren. If she said, I'm going to buy 400 acres in the middle of Colorado, she could have her own racetrack. If the cars have anything to do with this, I don't know that they do. I only know that both the St. Paul and Minneapolis paper have reported on it. Today, the New York Post has it. I've seen it in the Daily Mail.
Well,
it's an interesting story.
It is. And what's funny, everything I've read about it since it's like you said, it's a kind of an old story. Everybody assumes that she has evil intentions. Nobody is making the assumption that, you know what, maybe she's buying up all those cruddy properties in those houses, and she's going to give it to the state or the city, and it's going to be a park and a beach, and it's going to be wonderful, and that's going to be her legacy. How come nobody jumps to that conclusion?
Well, I would like to defend myself and point out that I haven't suggested her intentions are evil.
I'm targeting this guy in the square above me.
I'm just suggesting that it's a wonderful story of curiosity.
It is. It is fascinating.
I just want you to know. Oh, go ahead.
I love the fact that she's threatening the Duluth newspapers if they publish anything. I love that.
That I'm unaware of.
Here, what am I looking? Oh, I don't want to credit my source. God, I have to credit my source. Okay, I'm looking at MinPost.
Oh.
And she evidently talked to a reporter in Duluth and told him something. I'm looking for the exact quote. You go ahead and I'll find the quote.
I just want you to know, Joe, I don't have an opinion. I don't give a damn what she does.
Noah opinion.
Yep. I'm Noah.
Well, you know me. There's only one reason I'm hooked on this story, and what's that?
McLaren.
McLaren. Oh, yeah.
Where's she going to house the cars?
How about a gal who likes McLarens? Can you do any better than that? Come on.
Especially a rich one.
Here's the quote, Joe. In an interview with the Duluth News Tribune, Jimmy Lovren, Cargill called the property pieces of crap she couldn't imagine living in and threatened legal action against the paper if anything were published about their conversation.
John, I'm having a mental block. The local author who has created a Duluth policeman. Great stuff.
My wife reads that guy.
I'm having a mental block. I can't think
Tom
of his
Combs.
name. No.
All of his stories are from up north, right?
Shoot. Yeah. They're set in Duluth and elsewhere. And this cop lives on this. It's one of his houses that he lives in the books is probably one of the ones Cargill bought.
Jonathan Stride would be the detective.
Jonathan Stride's the detective.
And the writer is Brian Freeman.
Brian Freeman. I think he's a good storyteller. And his people live on this land that we're talking about, fictionally. They live on that piece of land. I remember going up there one time. I can still remember the name of the boat. A big freighter named Socrates washed up on Park Point in a storm. Okay. And so when people got up in the morning and they looked out, all they saw was this giant ship that obscured their view of the lake.
Was this?
Oh, that was years ago.